Hello everyone, it's Mike Levin from MikeLevinSEO.com in the Pipulate project from GitHub, and we are at the point now where we're going to start replacing these question marks. And we are going to go into the place in the program where we have to hook into that. So I'm going to search on DEF space and just follow them with the N key for next, DB local, and ZZ will recenter, so I can do next ZZ and take a look where we're at. Process row, we're getting close. Next ZZ, the row 1 functions comes after that. Eval funcs. This is really interesting. The bottom of eval funcs, there it is. We are printing something from eval funcs, but we don't really want that to print. We actually want that to do a return. So I will remind everyone what the output looks like currently, and we do a before and after, switching from a print inside a function to doing a return and printing from outside the function where it's called. Okay, so that's our expected output, and I change print to return, and it's returning a statement that is going to now it's got the execution of the eval in what's getting returned. This is potentially quite a nice arrangement. So we go to where eval func is actually called, and there it is right there, and we put the print statement here now. And the output should be unchanged, but structurally the program is actually a little bit different, significantly different now, because the this thing process row has that's where whenever it's encountering the question mark, it now gets back, instead of doing a print, let's set something equal to that. Get rid of the parentheses, and we'll say replace QM with equals. And then we'll print replace QM with Python 3.x syntax. And once again, it should be unchanged output. But I'm going really kind of slow on zeroing in on this because it is so important. This is the heart of the system right now. Now, in order to make it more understandable what we're about to do, I'm going to clean up that output we're looking at. We don't need to look at the function signature anymore. We just need to look at the output. So we're going to check out our other print statements. That one is fine. It creates a row. That one is just debugging. That is the one we just created. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So the replace question mark with is already an appending of a bunch of stuff. So we actually need to go back into eval func and trim down what's getting returned. We just want the output of the function returned, not the string statement. So we're returning it as this kind of string replacement. This becomes this, which is really good for debugging. That's such a great little way of debugging. I'm going to keep it in there, but comment it out. And we are going to return just the eval part of that statement. There's probably going to be tries and excepts around this. This is pretty ambitious to do that with one line. But by doing it like this, now we should have just the output of the functions, and we're actually zeroing in on understandability here. So to get the understandability at its highest level, Shift-G to the bottom of the program, I am just going to return no arguments here, still a little cute. This is out from func1. And this has the same issue of string replacement. We just are appending together param1 and param2, so we can see hello world and spam and eggs. So this is a much cleaner way to do that. So the two things we should see is out from func1 and hello world and spam and eggs. So let's execute that and get our output from our program really understandable. Yep, it's exactly what we're expecting. And I pause as I look up the documentation for gspread for cell updating and check whether I have to pass objects around, which I am not currently passing. We'll be right back. Okay, it's actually interesting program architecture decisions here. So you'll see this is where we're sitting on top of the value that the question mark that we're looking at gets replaced with, and that's for a particular cell. So we're walking down a row, processing cell by cell. Each time we find a question mark, we have the value that the question mark can be replaced with. Now we can immediately try and replace the question mark in the spreadsheet for each cell we encounter, or we can do the question mark replacement on the row in memory and then return the entire row up to the calling function. And that's a good idea because, as you'll notice here with the parameters, we only have the row number and the row itself. We don't have the parent object, whether it's the shelve object or the gspread object, nor would we want to. I could easily add a third parameter in here to carry that either shelve or gspread object down, but then in order to update the actual question mark in location, I'd have to do if logic, if it's a shelve object or if it's a gspread object, and I don't want to do that. I want to do that in the parent object where process row is actually called from. And you'll remember process row is called here, and you do in fact have the parent object, which is this all rows guys. It actually closes but then it reopens here, so there's all rows right there. So if instead of just calling process row we set something equal to process row, we'll be sitting on top of the new row with the question marks replaced. Similarly here. So we want to get to the bottom of db local and db gdocs with a new row, and then we have the option then of trying to update the whole row at once, which is nice and efficient, and you'll just see a row sort of pop into its new values and the question marks all replaced at once. Or I could step through the row even then and do it cell by cell so you can see the more interesting but slower and less efficient twinkling. So that means instead of printing the replace with, we are going to once again bump it up one higher. You will remember, oh wait, it's not actually return. We are processing cell by cell, so we can replace the location it's in, replace the question mark, if a cell equals question mark. See? So all we have to do is the parent object, we're stepping through a row. So a row, and it is a list, so it has a numeric index. which we can stick caldex back into. And we say that gets equal to, it's a single equals because we're doing an assignment and not a comparison. Replace QM with. And we can probably make it a little more efficient here. Let's get rid of that and just go V. Grab this entire guy. Paste it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we'll comment this out. And now at the end, we should be sitting on top of a brand new row. And this is processing cell by cell, but on this outer thing, we're processing the whole row. So here, I am now going to see if it worked by print a row. Each row processed, we should see the square brackets around and see something like hello world out of func1 and then hello world together. So without further ado, feed it to Python, see if I made any stupid mistakes, which I have not. And this is a major step forward. You can see the question marks are being replaced on each row in memory. And that's a good stopping point because the next step is pretty significant and a little bit different. So thanks for joining me and hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.